This is the second video for section 6.3. Example 3, it says completely factor. Anytime you see the phrase completely factor, that means there's more than one step involved. That means we're going to have to factor more than once. So first, you should always check for greatest common factor. So look at the terms and think, do these terms have anything in common? Is there anything that I could divide out of all of these terms? So first look at the numbers, 4, -30, and 14. Those are all even, so I know I can divide 2 out of all of them. See if there's anything bigger, like maybe 4. I don't think we can do 14 divided by 4. I don't think we can do 30 divided by 4. So I think 2 is our best bet. But then also look at the x's. All of them have at least a plain x. X to the third, you can pull an x out of that. X squared, you can pull out an x, and then you can pull that x out. Typically, you look at the term with the smallest exponent, and that's the x that you pull out. All right, 4 divided by 2 is 2. X cubed, take out an x, you've got x squared. -30 divided by 2 is -15. X squared, take out an x, you've still got an x. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and we're taking the x out. Now we are going to focus on factoring what is left inside the parentheses. We need to multiply the 2 and the 7 together. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us 14. Those same numbers have to add up to -15. If we're adding up to -15, but we're multiplying to a positive, they both have to be negative. So that's -1 and -14. Okay, this 2x on the front, you just need to make sure you don't forget it. No matter what type of factoring you use, make sure you don't forget about that 2x that's in front, because our answer is going to be 2x something something. All right. I may send out a little survey or something to see which you prefer. I'm going to do factor by grouping first, kind of over here. So 2x and x, because 2x times x will give me 2x squared. Then 2x times something is going to give me one of these numbers. Not going to be -1, probably going to be -14. So this needs to be -14x. 2x times -7 would give me -14x. Then these two would have to multiply to give me -1x. So x times what is -1x? -1. My factored form is 2x, and then 2x minus 1, x minus 7. If we did factor by grouping, start the same way. Multiply the 2 and the 7, figure out this pair of numbers right here, and then use that pair of numbers to split up the middle term. Once you have it written as 4 terms, directly after the second term, split this into 2 groups. My first group, we just have x in common. 2x squared, take an x out, you still have 2x. -1x, take the x out, you still have a -1. Whatever symbol is in front of that third term, you have to use that symbol. 14x and 7 have 7 in common. -14x divided by -7 is +2x. 7 divided by -7 is -1. If you don't pull that negative down, it can really screw up whatever you have after that. So then our factored form is x minus 7, 2x minus 1. Oh, and don't forget, we had a 2x in front that we factored out originally. Okay, here's why I like guess and check better than factor by grouping. I feel like this part right here tends to be kind of difficult. Factoring that second group, figuring out that GCF, it can be a little bit difficult. I feel like trying to fit the puzzle pieces together with guess and check is a little bit easier. Okay, in example B, the first big problem with example B is that our A value is negative. you really do not want a negative number in front of x squared. So we definitely want to factor out a negative. Then what do these three terms have in common? Hopefully 2. Are there any x's? No. So negative 2x squared divided by negative 2 is positive x squared. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4, and that term has an x. 42 divided by negative 2 is negative 21. This one's actually a little bit easier because there's no number in front of x squared. So when we go to factor this, because there isn't a number in front, we don't have to worry about multiplying. If we multiply this 1 times the negative 21, it doesn't change it. It's still negative 21. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 21 and add up to 4. That one doesn't pop into my head. 1 times 21 or 3 times 7. Oh, 3 times 7. Negative 3 and positive 7. And because there's a 1 in front of the x squared, we don't have to do factor by grouping or guess and check. We stick x minus 3, x plus 7. Don't forget that we factored out a negative 2 originally. All right. The last slide just says more examples. And I want you to try these if you feel you need some extra examples. Basically, the first two are very similar to example 3A, or the previous examples. The last two are more similar to example 3B. I think we should do like maybe one more together, and I'll show you both ways again. Then what I'm going to do is I will pause the video and I will work out the other three, and then I'll play the video, or I'll start recording again so you can see the answers. So let's do this first one together. Our first step is to multiply the 6 and the 5. Actually, our first step is greatest common factor. Do these three terms have anything in common? No, they don't. All right, we need two numbers that multiply to give us 30. Those same numbers have to add up to 17. All right, we got 1 times 30. That's not going to work. We got 2 times 15. I think 2 and 15 would work. Because there's a 6 in front, we can't just do x plus 2, x plus 15. We have to do either guess and check or factor by grouping. I should make this smaller so it fits in here. All right. Here's one of the reasons that people don't like guess and check. 6x squared, we have some options. We could do 6x and x, or we could do 2x and 3x. I like to look at my numbers here to give me a hint about which one it is, because I would have to do 6x times something to get either 2x or 15x. That's not going to work. I need this to be 2x and 3x, because I could do 2x times something to get 2. I could do 3 times something to get the 15. So I think 2x and 3x are definitely going to be the way I want to go. 2x times something has to give us one of these numbers with an x. So we need, I'm guessing this is going to be the 2x. So 2x times 1 is 2x. That means these two have to multiply to give me 15x, 3x times 5. So my factored form is 2x plus 5, 3x plus 1. If we want to do factor by grouping, we would have done 6x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 5, split it. These two have 2x in common. These two have 5 in common. That's the messiest looking 3 I've ever written. So my factored form is 2x plus 5, 3x plus 1. Okay, and I know I'm saying this over and over, but here's why I don't like factor by grouping. A lot of people forget to write the 1 in here. it's really easy, like 2x divided by 2x is nothing, and they just leave it blank. But it's not nothing, it's 1. So there's a lot of opportunity for error in factor by grouping that I feel doesn't exist in the guess and check, which is why I like guess and check the best. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split this right here like this, and I am going to do guess and check up above and factor by grouping below. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to work all of these out, and then I'll start recording again to put the answers. So if I were you, I would pause the video. I would try at least 1 or 2 of these on your own and then play the video to check your answers. Then you can move on to your assignment. Okay, here's all of my answers. And then just one more time, some of the reasons that I really want to push you towards guess and check. This problem right here, this group is very hard to factor, because what do -4y and 1 have in common? They have nothing in common, which means they have a 1 in common. And if you remember to drop that negative down, they actually have a -1. So then -4y divided by -1 is +4y. 1 divided by -1 is -1. But this one can be very difficult to factor when you're doing factor by grouping, and guess and check, it works out a lot easier. And some people are like, oh, but 4y squared, I don't know if that's going to be 4y and y, or if it's going to be 2y and 2y. But if you look at your choices, at your numbers here, 2 times something is not going to give you -1. You want it to be 4y and 1y to help you get those numbers. So it's not really guess and check. It's not throwing noodles against a wall trying to see if they'll stick. It's a very calculated, look at the data that you have, think about how the puzzle pieces fit together, and then get the pieces where they need to go. So I want you to think of guess and check more as figure out the puzzle and not guess and check, I guess. All right, let me know if you need any help with factoring. If you feel like factoring is the thing that got you in Algebra 2, let me know. Jump on the live chat tomorrow and let's talk about it. Tomorrow's a free day. Wednesday's a free day, basically. It's a makeup day. Hold on. Wrong. This is Thursday's stuff, so Friday we're starting the review. So we'll have time during the review. If you need help with factoring, let me know. I will definitely give you help with factoring. I don't want factoring to be the thing that undoes you. I don't know if that grammatically makes sense. I don't want factoring to be your undoing when I can totally help you with factoring.